Hello, this is Steven Allen. Yes, we are back with another Batman 66 episode review. And today we'll be reviewing the episode Catwoman Goes to College. Which means Catwoman is once again back. So without further ado, let's get into the review. We begin our episode at Gotham State Penitentiary, where Warden Crichton and Bruce Wayne are here to essentially welcome a new person recently been put on parole. And that person is Catwoman. Now, I've already got problems with this episode from the get-go. Last time we saw Catwoman, she presumably fell to her death. My question is, how is she alive? Well, because at least when they see the season 1 fall to her death, at least when Catwoman made her reappearance, very first episode of season 2, they at least acknowledge her apparent fall. This one is almost like it's completely not just swept under the rug, but kind of like an episode was left out explaining the whole thing. So automatically, I have problems with that, and that will kind of be my problem when going forward. Anyway, back to the episode. It's revealed that she's been so good, they've agreed to put her on parole, and her new parole officer is Bruce Wayne. Her request is, since she's on parole, she wishes to go to college, as she states her life went down the road it did because she was a dropout and she wishes to get an education. And of course, they happily oblige. We then find out that some college students at night are robbing Batman's statue, but one of these guys leave behind their hat. And of course, we go back to Wayne Manor with the usual, Alfred and Harriet opening scene. But Gordon also brings in a call, tries to call Batman, telling about how his statue was stolen from the university. Batman, Robin, down the poles, opening credits, and then we're back at Gotham Police Department. Batman then reveals that the statue, for its possible criminal purpose, as it is a perfect mold of his body and could easily be used to make some kind of costume. We then cut to Catwoman's lair, which is actually a fraternity house, and it turns out that she is making a said Batman costume and gives it to one of her henchmen who, Candy, has the ability to sound exactly like Batman. And apparently this plays a part in her big caper, which she has yet to reveal. But she does notice that one of her men is no longer wearing a hat, and orders his other men to give him his hat. And then they quickly go to class, where it turns out Batman and Robin are giving a lecture on criminality. They then reveal that at the scene of a crime, a beanie was found, but thanks to the Batcave, they managed to deduce who the possible subject is, but they don't reveal by name, of course, but says how he could possibly look in appearance. The henchman, who had lost his hat, is scared and quickly makes his way to the door, but Batman and Robin quickly spot him on his way out, and Catwoman immediately rigs an alarm to go off and asks Batman to essentially out for a kind of mini date. And Batman, though curious, decides to go along with it. Just as they are on their date, Batman is quickly arrested by the police, as it turns out Batman's been causing trouble, even though he says he's been here the entire time. It is then revealed that the cop that is arresting him is someone completely out of town. And of course, he is quickly sent to the local jail, but he does get a call from his lawyer, Alfred and Alfred. Alfred then turns up along with a special, disguise kit. Batman then disguises himself as Alfred and walks out of the jail, back to Wayne Manor. However, Gordon does give word that Batman is locked up and immediately orders him to be released. But however, when the captain comes back, he also reveals that he has already escaped, and Gordon is happy about it, knowing he's quickly getting on their trail. Just as that's happening, we also get word that it is then revealed that Catwoman plans to start a student riot in order to cause distraction, so that she and her men can steal the Cat's Eye opal. That night, as they plan to, Batman and Robin tell the students to go away, and Catwoman and her men quickly make their way to the top of a nearby building and wait by the elevator for Batman and Robin to come. And as they get their way up there, a bat fight breaks out, with them winning victorious over the henchmen. However, Catwoman uses a trick to essentially knock them out. After that, they are quickly tied up and placed in a giant coffee cup, where each second, the coffee would then pour, essentially, liquid acid onto our heroes, and that is our cliffhanger. Cast here is a little bit different this time around. We get Warden Crichton is back. I like how Alfred is help Batman out of that trap. Again, I like how just in the previous one, Alfred is actually helping Batman out, and also a bit of Bruce Wayne and Batman's relationship with Catwoman is slightly moving forward here, as Bruce clearly pulled a lot of strings to get Catwoman out on parole, and I really like that to a extent. But of course, let's talk about the villain. Now, Julie Newmar is back as Catwoman. It's kind of sad because we're knowing that we're near the end of Julie Newmar as Catwoman, which when keeping that in mind that we're nearly there. But when we also look at Catwoman, first off, I like, even though as soon as she got out of prison, she was all ready to set up this big caper, and how we also clearly see her as a kind of a good manipulator with all that crowds of students, something I found to be very different and unique in regards to what Catwoman usually does. My, I guess, problem I'm finding with this is, of course, the explanation to Ada. Don't give us an explanation as to how she could have survived her fall, and we don't also, and not only do they give us a good explanation, but they don't also tell us how she wound up in prison. Was she found and placed back in there, or was there a caper we don't know about? See, that's the thing I'm always very kind of finding that always is ruining my moments with this episode. But other than that, I do admit she is absolutely Catwoman for me in this show. And I also admit that I absolutely like the moment with her and Catwoman and Batman just sitting having essentially a milkshake. I absolutely love it, and it just feels so almost adorable, even for this show. And believe it or not, in a long time, we finally have a window cameo. As far as I know, this guy's name's Art Linger, I believe his name, and basically he was huge with his TV show at the time, essentially a reality show. People Are Funny. And I like how, in the window cameo, he says he's trying to start it up, and he's looking for people to be on it. And the nice little back and forth between him, Batman, and Robin, I'm getting him a blast with that. And it's clear that he's in on the joke. So, and that's what I like about these window cameos. When these people pop up, they're willing to make fun of themselves and the show itself. It's breaking the fourth wall, and I'm loving every minute of it. And it feels great that we have another window cameo. It's been so long since we've had it. Catwoman Goes to College is okay at best. Again, my problem with it doesn't really explain how Catwoman survived her fall, how she ended up in prison. It stands, but I can't deny that it is fun. And especially since Catwoman is back, I can at least let go of that gripe, knowing that she is back, and we can have at least one more fun with her before finally Julie Newmar hangs up her Catwoman costume and gives it on to her successor in the next season. There we have it. That was Catwoman Goes to College. Join us next time when we review Batman Displays His Knowledge, which will sadly be the final time Julie Newmar will be in the role of Catwoman. So until then, tune in next time for the same Steven hour, the same Steven channel, ladies and gentlemen. So long for now.